President Ibrahim Traoré's life hangs in the balance after a shocking poisoning attempt, but the truth behind the sinister plot is finally revealed. In a stunning press conference, Traoré exposes the masterminds, motives, and methods behind the assassination bid that left him fighting for his life. The presidential dining hall in Ouagadougou was usually a serene blend of tradition and opulence, adorned with rich tapestries depicting the glorious history of the nation. Chandeliers sparkled overhead, casting golden light on the polished marble floors, and the fragrant aroma of carefully prepared dishes wafted through the air. This evening, however, an unsettling tension lingered as President Ibrahim Traoré, a man known for his charismatic leadership and unyielding spirit, took his seat at the head of the lavish table. As he lifted the fork to his lips, an instinctual shiver crept down his spine. The first morsel of the exquisitely seasoned chicken was met with an unusual warmth in his throat, followed by a burning sensation that spread like wildfire through his veins. His heart raced, but outwardly he maintained his composure. The last thing he wanted was to alarm his guests. Yet, beneath the veneer of calm, panic washed over him like a sudden storm. But before we dive into what happens next, I'd love to know, where are you tuning in from today? Drop a comment below, and please like the video. Thank you. His mind raced. What was happening? The blood in his veins felt as if it had turned to ice, as if it were no longer part of him, but a foreign invader. He set down his fork, trying to catch his breath as his chest tightened with an alarming pressure. The opulent dining hall, which should have been a backdrop for laughter and camaraderie among his closest allies, fell into a thick silence. The loyal guards, well trained in the art of vigilance, exchanged worried glances, and the chefs, having spent countless hours crafting this meal, stood frozen in place. In that moment, Ibrahim felt the world shift and tilt dangerously. Was this the end? The thought clouded his vision. His trusted advisors, who had shared in victories and defeats, now appeared as shadows lurking in a game he had not chosen to play. When he scanned their faces, he saw concern, suspicion, and fear flashing like lightning in the turbulent sky. Who had betrayed him? The very people he relied on, or perhaps an unseen foe outside these gilded walls? His mind spiraled into a void of uncertainty. Desperately, he focused on the faces around him, searching for clues, for a glimmer of betrayal. There was Malik, the chief of security, whose loyalty had always been unquestioned. But moments ago, he had seemed too eager in his attempt to reassure the president, perhaps a facade veiling his true intentions. Then there was Adama, his longtime friend and advisor, who wore an expression that oscillated between alarm and intrigue. Who was he really in this sinister drama unfolding before them all? A bead of perspiration traveled down Ibrahim's temple, and he felt a cold wave crashing into him. The burning in his throat was now accompanied by a nauseating wave of fear. Panic clawed at his insides, yet he fought to hold onto something, anything, that resembled power. The candles flickered violently, as if sensing the turmoil. He struggled to summon the courage to call for help or to demand answers. Instead, he leaned back in his chair, closing his eyes for just a moment that felt eternal. What transpired next was no less than surreal. As his vision dimmed and the oppressive weight in his chest threatened to extinguish the light of his consciousness, something within him ignited. Ibrahim Traoré was not merely a president. He was a survivor, a fighter forged through trials of betrayal and loss. With that spirit ignited, he opened his eyes, determination flooding back. He would not go down without a fight. In a swift motion, he slammed his palm onto the table, causing the silverware to rattle and the chandelier to sway. I demand to know who has done this. His voice echoed with authority, surprising even himself. His eyes sparkled with an intensity that had long been his signature when confronting challenges, though now that determination was layered with the fear of death. The room erupted into chaos. The guests exchanged frantic whispers. The guards moved closer, scanning the surroundings for threats. A murmur of confusion ricocheted off the walls. "Guards!" Ibrahim shouted, his voice firm, though his body screamed for relief. "Find the poisoner among us. Now!" Within moments, the loyal guards hustled to comply. They ordered everyone to stay in place. No one allowed to leave. No one absolved of suspicion. An interrogative pulse raced through the room. Ibrahim watched as they began questioning the diners. Each of his trusted friends and confidants now stood accused under the dim glow of the elegant chandeliers. Time seemed to stretch infinitely as the guards worked meticulously, seeking answers in the anxious faces that surrounded Ibrahim. He felt like a hawk, its sharp gaze darting from one suspect to another, trying to discern the truth hidden among the lies. He quickly remembered every shared laugh, every grain of trust he deposited with these individuals. Now, those memories fluttered like moths to the flame, a beautiful memory at war with a malicious reality. Adama. Ibrahim interrupted abruptly, shifting the focus to his longtime friend. You've known me through it all, stood by my side. Tell me, who would have the audacity to betray our bond? Adama stepped forward, visibly shaking yet resolute. No one understands the machinations of power like you, my friend. But this feels like a deep cut, the sort only someone very close could deliver. Ibrahim leaned forward, strength and fear intertwining within him. Then we shall unearth the truth together. But I need your loyalty now, without hesitation or doubt. Yes, Adama nodded fervently, his nerves evident, but determination took over. We will find them. Moments bled into one another as the guards worked with increasing urgency. The chefs, accused of their craft, trembled under the scrutiny, yet one of them, the head chef, stood apart, a storm brewing behind her calm exterior. What about the dishes? She interjected, her voice steady amidst the chaos. I prepared everything myself. If one meal is tainted, it could only have come from another. A spark ignited in Ibrahim's mind. But you're saying it's not just an attack on me. It would be an attack on your hard work, your dedication. Who else had access to the kitchen last night? The chef swallowed hard, recalling a figure that had slipped through her kitchen only days before. A subtle twist of fate that hung in the air, heavy with observation. There was a stranger. He was dressed well, looked like an official, but I never got a name. He lingered, asking too many questions. Ibrahim felt a sudden anger knit itself into a storm brewing within him. The poisoning was not simply intended to thwart my rule. It was a declaration of war, an act of violence meant to rattle the very foundations of our governance. His words struck a chord within the room, igniting the flickering shadows of fear and something new, purpose. We will uncover whoever plotted this against me, against us. Come, let's clear this cloud of treachery and restore our sovereignty. The guards fired up, fanning out into the hall with newfound vigor, collecting eyes and ears from the rest of the palace. Confidence surged as Ibrahim's mind strategized the impending assault against those who dared undermine his legacy. Every question would serve as a weapon, every word shield. With urgency, they embarked on a mission that reached beyond the dining hall, delving into the fabric of government itself. Each new whisper revealed layers of deceit, twisting through the echelons of power like a viper coiled to strike. Days slipped by as Ibrahim fought tirelessly against the clock, vowing to not only reclaim his life, but to ensure that justice was meted out. Each clue peeled back the curtain on a conspiracy that threatened to upend everything he had built. And as he delved deeper, he discovered other poison minds, other bravado-laden victims of this unseen assailant. It was not just a personal vendetta. It was a calculated strike against the heart of the nation itself. With every thread they unraveled, a chilling portrait emerged, a cadre of disillusioned insiders who believed themselves untouchable. Ibrahim understood now, as he gathered his motives and crafted his response, that fear was a luxury he could no longer afford. Bound by fate to address this peril head-on, he vowed to confront them, knowing that only then would the sun rise again with vengeance echoing in his heart. Finally, the hour of reckoning arrived. Under cover of night, Ibrahim summoned those who had splintered into chaos. The chef, his advisors, the guards, each of them found guilty of either complicity or cowardice. As they gathered, tension crackling like electricity, he stepped forward, fueled by the fire of the truth that only he bore. Let it be known, I stand before you not as a man weakened by poison, but as a leader reclaiming his throne. You tread upon my honor, upon the trust of the people, and for that, you will pay dearly. As moonlight streamed through the palace windows, silhouettes danced upon the walls, and in that moment, Ibrahim Traoré became a storm itself, a force that would not be subdued. Resilience surged through him, and with a voice that grounded itself in defiance, he summoned the strength to vanquish the dark shadows that sought to consume him. With the truth finally unveiled, the first light of morning spilled through the palace doors, illuminating the beginning of a new chapter. It was not merely about revenge.